Hey guys, Jerry from Flight Commentary Breakdowns. As promised, it's Paris or Coach Paris, and he's the one. He has a black belt in 5 different martial arts, 2 styles of Taekwondo, karate and Kyokushin, and Japanese sword. Not the kendo, right? Another type of traditional Japanese sword. Okay, so you know, I always tell people, I like martial arts. I'm a hobbyist. I never claim to be an expert, never claim to be a teacher. Now he, on the other hand, can claim to be a teacher. So I wanted to bring him in with this video because I wanted some of his feedback on some of the things I might say, I might claim, etc. I titled this video 3 Good Habits I Learned from Kung Fu. And this is why I think they're good habits, because when I got pressure tested, they came naturally. Right. So like the practice actually yielded some fruit. Unlike some of the other stuff, like in Kung Fu, I never use stuff like, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, you never use the flowery stuff. These are some of the things I definitely use. So the first thing that happened, this actually happened to me twice. One time, very good self-defense story, by the way. I was kind of out of it. Right. I was walking out of the subway and I did not care about my surroundings. So a guy, he wasn't your height, he was smaller, maybe my height. He came up to me and he just like, you know, just gave a little punch to my shoulder, like very, very light. Yo, what's up? He's like, what's up? You got a smoke? And like, I didn't realize like this could have been a problem. Right. So I'm like, no, I don't have a smoke. And you know what I do? I kind of turn to the side, start walking. Now I'm not looking at him. He's not fight trained, right? So he doesn't understand. I can just sucker punch him here. Yeah. So he circles around, and now he's here. Yeah. So now he's like blocking me. Right. I'm like, he's like, yo, man, I like your hat. And I was like, and you know what I do? Guys, don't do this. I turn my back and I start walking. We talk about this a lot. It's not just fight or fight. It's flight or fight or panic. And I was in panic mode. So the moment I got out of my panic mode was when I'm walking this way and he tries to cut me off again.
As opposed to attacking your back.
Yeah. So he didn't hit me in the back because he was probably trying to test me. He was like, okay, can I just like rob this guy without him like even having to fight him? So that's when my fight response came in. And this is actually, we might need to stand like this. But this is something I learned in Wing Chun, by the way. People say, hate Wing Chun. I don't hate Wing Chun. So in Wing Chun, or maybe this is from offshoots of Wing Chun, Bruce Lee, he took cha-cha and he liked fencing. So there's the shuffle step. So just naturally, once I realized, oh my, I'm about to get robbed, I shuffle stepped. It was a very quick shuffle step. You see how much distance I got? So I was out of his striking range. I just shuffle stepped and immediately I was like, oh my God. That's all it took. He realized, okay, this guy, he probably has some training, don't know how much, but the shuffle step, it was kind of legit. All it took was that. And now I'm in control now. I'm not turning my back doing stupid stuff anymore.
Or stuck on your cell phone.
And guys, be mindful, right? I wasn't mindful. I should have seen him. He was walking my way. I should have seen him, but I was like, I was hating my job. I was like, And then the second thing is, the moment stuff starts happening, you better wake up, man. I didn't wake up until he tried to cut me off the 3rd time. Then I'm like, oh my goodness. And then the 4th thing I want to say about this is, there were people kind of sitting there near the subway, just kind of watching this. And they were like, once they saw me shuffle, they were like, oh man, that Asian guy, he bad, man. And in my mind, I'm like, couldn't you guys like helped me?
No one does.
Yeah, no one does. Yeah. I didn't take many lessons of Wing Chun, but even the few lessons I took, it was enough to learn the shuffle step, right? That's all it was. So that's one thing I love about Kung Fu, this little shuffle step. You gauge so much distance, it's so quick, right? Shuffle step. So that's something I love about Kung Fu. Now, in your training, have you trained shuffle steps and stuff like that?
That's mandatory. Even, you know, I mean, I'm also versed in kickboxing and boxing and lateral movement, savate. We do that all the time. So what happens usually is when there's a conflict, if you stand over there, and then let's say you're attacking me, I do this. I back up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And then there's a ring or whatever. But what you should, better reaction is as you come towards me, I move this way and keep that distance.
Exactly.
That's the thing I'll stress a lot in savate. Like that is the sideways or lateral. Much better than moving back. You know?
A lot of martial arts, one of the things you practice is, like you said, that movement. Like you're always doing this stuff. That's the first thing that Kung Fu really helped me. Protected me twice. Another time a guy was coming, I knew he was about to hit me. He was like really on something. And at first he's coming at me and I'm just nodding at him because I think he's just, and then I'm like, wait, this guy's coming directly at me and he's got this like, I'm gonna kill you. So I shuffle step again. I shuffle step back.
Of course.
So shuffle step, man, that's really useful. It's not just from Kung Fu, but I learned it from Kung Fu. The second thing that Kung Fu really taught me, and I've used this twice to protect myself is low kicks.
Oh.
Now, you know, I hurt myself many times in Kung Fu doing high kicks because we didn't train it correctly. This is the Chinese way of teaching. Oh, it hurts, keep doing it. It will stop hurting, but you're just pulling the muscle. Ever since I got hurt, then I started learning, you know, some from Xingyi Chuan, from other styles that emphasize more low kicks. So the first time it happened, I was sparring a guy in my school. He was actually like, the height difference was like this. So he had no martial arts training. I want to make sure to emphasize that. So we're sparring, okay? Knowing he has no martial arts training, I go like this towards his face, so he flinches, and then boom! I just give him a low kick to his knee. One little low kick, I didn't even realize how much power it had because it cut up his knee. He was bleeding, and he's like, "Jerry, man, you cut up my knee," and I was like, "Oh, it's all the shoes. It's all the shoes." But like seriously, all it took was just up, down. So boom.
People's reaction is to deal with this. They don't think about that.
Yeah.
You know, the one problem I'd say with low kicks is it doesn't instantly solve a fight. You know what I mean? Like a good punch to the head or a kick to the head, fight's over. Low kicks is usually a whittling down process.
Agreed.
But it's still a great move. Once you keep your hands up when throwing the low kick, you're going to be okay.
And it's a good thing that me and him were just sparring. Because he was like, oh, ow, that hurt. Okay, that's enough, Jerry. Yeah, he was, because he's one of those, I did Kung Fu back in the day, and he's like, oh, I want to test out your Kung Fu, right? So like, no one's serious about it. Now, the second situation with the low kick, he was actually trying to hurt me. So he saw me with the water gun. He was like a friend of a friend. So he's like, oh, Jerry's going to shoot me with the water gun, which I wasn't. He gets a bottle of water, and then he comes up and he gets me with the bottle of water. So I'm like, what the? So I take the same bottle, there's still a little bit left, I drink the water and spit it on him. So I escalate, it was stupid. So he comes over, so he grabs my hands, and he's trying to do like the, oh sorry, he grabs my fingers like this. So he's trying to do the bully thing, right? If I knew anything about grappling, I would know how to handle this, but again, I'm doing Kung Fu, I don't know anything. So what do? I just kick him again.
He goes like this?
Yeah, I kick him again in the knee. And then he's like, oh, okay. And then he like does the tough guy, he's like, I don't want to deal with your Kung Fu shit, and he walks away.
I love it.
But like, that's all it took, a little low kick. But if I didn't have Kung Fu, I would have been so busy up here, but like, oh fuck, and maybe my finger would have been broken. So Kung Fu prevented my finger from getting snapped that day. Because he was also bigger. He wasn't his height, but he was bigger than me.
It's always better to have something, you know, whatever it is. Any martial arts training, it's something better than having nothing. You know what I mean?
And then the third thing, and there's something I talked to Paris the other day about, is there are certain things in Kung Fu, it's like spamming your A. It's very, very useful. And I think with any martial art, when you're fighting someone who doesn't have martial arts, it gives you extra things to spam. Usually people who don't have martial arts, they probably throw in haymakers, right? 100%. But as a kid, and in fact, I'll bring Paris back to talk about this. One time I got jumped. I'll have Paris and Jerry talk about this. I got jumped by 2 people. I knew how to kick. So you know what I was doing? I was spamming my kicks. I was kind of like doing Kung Fu, and I was also playing Street Fighter. So I was trying to do the Chung Li kick, but with like side kicks. I was like, whoa, you know, I'm not gonna do it now. It gave me a distance on them, right, while I'm spamming the kicks. And then the other thing I told Paris about is this chain punching thing. Dude, it's so like, you could train it to be natural. Like now when I think of punching, no matter what, I can naturally go like this. So it's a good A to spam.
Especially if they don't know how to block. You know, just take it in the face.
It's like, those are 3 things I can think of. Kung Fu's helped me. And now the last case with I've never chain punched anyone, but I just know from my experience and kind of, you know, when I get hit, what loses, you know, what I don't remember. I know this thing will definitely stay.
People, it's just their reaction. They're not used to taking a high volume of attacks at once unless they're trained for that. You know what I mean? So it's a very legitimate technique in a certain situation, especially in self-defense. Boom, 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 and you get out of there. Perfect. Makes sense.
Guys, I do not hate Kung Fu. I do not hate Wing Chun. My pet peeve is people who take other people's money, teaching them certain things that will probably not be used in getting those people who are paying money hurt. I don't know if I told any of you this, but when I trained Kung Fu in China, I never got hurt. But the moment I started training Kung Fu in America, I started getting hurt all the time. And that's what made me so bitter towards Kung Fu for a long time. And so maybe this video is kind of like me trying to reevaluate it and say, look, there are good things. My problem with certain styles, no matter what it is they say, this is all you need, and you don't need to know anything else, and you don't need to test it, because it's going to work 100% of the time. Always test what you have in a friendly scenario if you have the chance. Always test what you have, see what works, see what doesn't, throw it away if it doesn't, but no. They want to stick there and just, this will work. You don't need to test anybody. It's going to work all the time, 100%. There's no silver bullet. You guys, by the time this video comes out, you guys have seen him do jiu-jitsu, so you know he's legit. He tests out his stuff. He's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu on top of his 4 black belts, by the way. So we will bring Paris back to test a lot of stuff, and in fact, we'll probably get Paris back to teach some stuff too. So we have a lot of great stuff, a lot of great videos to come featuring Paris. So I will also link Paris's website if you guys do want to take lessons from him. He is in the LA area, so anyone in LA who doesn't want to go to a gym or something, just want to take private lessons, he'd be a perfect person. He'll be back. Thank you so much, Coach Paris.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
All right.